DC, the nation's capital, is a beautiful city with many historic and modern attractions, but it also faces many challenges with its immigrant population. Based on 2015 census data, 1.3 million people in the DC area are foreign born. Most of these immigrants come from Latin America, including El Salvador, with 207,000 immigrants, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic. Unfortunately, along with many other issues attributable to their immigrant status, these immigrants face a language barrier between English and Spanish, which work to stunt their educational success and economic growth. From 2006 to 2010, only 61% of Latinos in DC had at least a high school degree compared to nearly 99% of non-Hispanic white residents of the district. There have been many actions taken to solve the problem of education for immigrants in DC, including Georgetown University's DC Schools Project. The description on its website states, DC Schools Project is a tutoring, mentoring, and advocacy program that provides English language tutoring and support for youth and adults of immigrant backgrounds in Washington, D.C. The program was established in 1984 in response to the quadrupling of the language minority population in the D.C. public schools. D.C. Schools has 5 main programs: school-based programs, which is after-school tutoring and homework support at 3 elementary schools, after-school tutoring at Latin American Youth Center, parent program which tutors adults, on-campus tutoring program for employees or members of the Georgetown community, and one-to-one in-home tutoring where twice a week Georgetown students travel to the houses of their tutees to teach for an hour. For this study specifically, I will analyze the DC Latino immigrant youth. When interviewed about the cons of DC schools, a program coordinator responded, "The program has been around for over 30 years and the purpose of it is to actually work in improving the lives of these students through their language. But has it truly and efficiently produced positive outcomes? Will these students continue to stay engaged in their education after leaving the program? I see that there are so many different factors that affect the students' education, such as the DC education system and their home lives, and I think this program can only help to a certain extent. The flaws of this program can be compared to those of the many Lesotho development projects described in James Ferguson's The Anti-Politics Machine. He writes on page 87, "We have seen that the conceptual apparatus systematically translated all the ills and ailments of the country into simple technical problems and thus constituted a suitable object for the apolitical technical development intervention." Similar to the development projects, these type of tutoring programs, such as the DC Schools Project, could be criticized for oversimplifying the educational disadvantages the immigrants face by attempting to change the way that they learn with just a couple of hours a week of tutoring. It ignores the main existing institutions affecting the education of these children, particularly the structural issues rooted in English-only instruction. In 2002, former President Bush enacted the No Child Left Behind Act, which took away many aspects of bilingual education. Studies show that children who speak more than one language perform better than children who are monolingual. This is the reason why, although so much money is spent towards the education of the students, the education system is failing the Latino youth. Standardized test scores for 3rd through 8th graders show that Latinos, who comprise 17% of the school population, recorded proficiency rates of 21% in English and 22% in math. Today, out of all 115 DC public schools, only 11 of them have bilingual or dual language program, of which children can only enter through winning a lottery. Fortunately, although the DC Schools program cannot completely combat all the adversities that these students face in achieving an education, it does provide some advantages for the students. The program coordinator interviewed explained the pros of DC Schools. "I noticed a big impact on the students who have recently arrived here. They progress very quickly. As a tutor myself, I see that we act as mentors to these students. This program is especially helpful for students who are recent immigrants because the mentorship allows an easier integration into the DC community. The program also provides the students with access to resources to further their education, such as how to apply to colleges, information about financial aid, and much more. In the Anti-Politics Machine, Ferguson explains that there are many factors that go into producing a positive outcome. Ferguson writes on page 276, "When one sees the whole process, it is clear that the conceptions are only one cog among others. They are neither mere ornament, nor are they the master key to understanding what happens." The DC Schools project does help, but it can only do so much since there are many more factors that go into the success of the education of a student. What improvements can be made for this program to be able to help more students? My own suggestion is that the program should incorporate more of the cogs, which Ferguson referred to, which in this case affect the students' education, such as the DC public school system, their families, and their neighborhoods and respective communities. The program should work more with all of the cogs or existing institutions so that they can all join forces and work in conjunction with each other to strengthen the instruction of the individual student.
Buscando al norte una esperanza, llegué a la tierra prometida, aprendí otro idioma, comencé otra vida.